Welcome to the Spy Collection. My name is Anastasios, and this time we'll have a look at a camera from Austria that had a secret history in East Germany's Ministry of State Security, or MfS, better known as the Stasi. Eumig was an Austrian company that existed from 1919 and until 1982. Its name was an acronym of this, which translates to English into Electricity and Metalware Industry Company. But before we dive into that, some background on some Stasi functions. Stasi was responsible for both internal and external intelligence in East Germany, and it was a massive organization. What we care about in this video is the following. The HVA was the main directorate for reconnaissance, which was responsible for foreign intelligence operations, basically conducting espionage operations, foreign influence, counter-espionage and active measures outside of East Germany. HVA had dozens of departments with different responsibilities. One of them was the Main Department 6, also written as HVA 6, with its headquarters in Berlin Treptow-Schnellerstrasse. Among its responsibilities were passport control to monitor who enters and exits the country, intelligence gathering of travel information, identifying illegal border crossings and methods used, infiltrating people smuggling networks, covert surveillance of political tourists, objects and facilities used in tourism. The Main Department 6 had several sections to facilitate all of that, and one of them was the third section. This was known as Department for Equipment and Training, responsible of providing the necessary equipment as well as sharing what tactics, techniques and procedures others used to covertly travel to East Germany. As we were reading in the Secret History of the Stasi Spy Cameras book, in the late 1950s, the photo section of the Main Department 6, Section 3, headed by Comrade Hennenberg Rudi, accelerated their experimentation in production of mikrats with commercial cameras. The use of amateur cameras removed the danger to the agent posed by the possession of special equipment for producing mikrats and was non-alerting. It was counterintuitive to anyone other than a trained counterintelligence professional that a movie camera could be used to produce tiny mikrats. And later on the book continues that Department E tested and recommended two Western movie cameras, the Movicon 8 and the Eumig Electric. And the book has actually a whole section on that camera that we're presenting here. But what was Department E? This department had its headquarters in Berlin, Lichtenberg, and it was providing OTM, operational technical means, to counter-espionage units, supporting covert surveillance operation in its region, development of technical solutions based on the operational needs, and other technical-focused responsibilities. And now that those are clarified, let's go back to our Made in Austria artifact, the Eumig 8mm electric motion camera. The camera could be used with its leather case, but to have a better look, let's remove this. Its operation was quite straightforward. This is the viewfinder, the lever to adjust the aperture of the lens, this socket was for a remote control trigger, and its release button was this one. Finally, this lever here was selecting the mode of operation. The top setting means locked, then continue shot, and the bottom is single shot. And here is the battery compartment. And if we push this switch, we can open the camera and see how it works. Basically, there are two spools of 8mm film that is routed through those rollers to this spot over here that exposes it to the lens. So the Stasi spies were instructed to purchase those cameras in the Western countries, like West Germany, where they were operating, and then use the Kodak MR, that is maximum resolution, or the mikrat 200 film, since they had the best sensitivity for covert document copying photography. To prepare their document copying area, which was usually done in safe houses or hotels, the spy would find a dark room, take some lamps and place them to light the area where the documents will be placed, usually a table or a bed. Then use the mount point or an improvised clamp for mounting the camera, and use the viewfinder to ensure it's in the right position. Typically, that was 115 to 125 centimeters, that is 3 to 4 feet, away from the document. The focus was then set to 5.6. Now for the preparation of the mikrats. In a dark room, to avoid burning the film, the spy would cut small pieces of 2 by 1 centimeters and place them somewhere dark, like between 2 pieces of cardboard. Those two are non-developed mikrats, as they were called due to the film being used. Next, the spy would place the documents to be copied in the area and make sure they are within the view of the camera with a viewfinder and they are properly lit from the lamps. Once happy with the result, turn off the lights, open the camera and place the cut film in front of the lens. Then with one hand cover the lens of the camera. Actually, Department E even made a bracket to make this placement easier. After closing the cover, turn on the lamps, and once the whole set is ready, remove the hand covering the lens to expose the film. After the exposure time, turn off the lamp and in the dark, open it up and remove the mikrat. Of course, then place the mikrat in a dark place, like between the cardboards, and then you can turn on the lights again. And that was it. Using this technique, the spies could create around 50 to 60 mikrats per hour, and each one of those could contain up to 1,000 lines of text per millimeter. The spies were taught how to develop films of their own, but that was not always necessary. Of course, if they could securely transfer the mikrat without risking exposing them to light. As we're reading in the Secret History of the Stasi Spy Cameras book, the mikrats could be cut out of the film with scissors and prepared to be buried, hidden, between the layers of paper of a postcard or beneath the flap of a letter or envelope for covert transport. If the mikrat was also to be bleached to make it invisible, it was necessary to first bleach the mikrat before cutting it. As a bleaching solution, the following solution was used: 100 milliliters of water, 10 grams sodium chloride, table salt, 2 grams potassium dichromate, and 6 grams of sulfuric acid concentrated. Bleached mikrats could be redeveloped again, blackened again, in a concentrated MQ developer containing methyl hydroquinone or concentrated rhodinol developer. And this is how this simple Western motion camera was used by Stasi spies as a covert photography tool to allow them to operate under the radar of the local counterintelligence officers that couldn't think that a motion camera could be used for covert document copying. But nothing is as it seems.